This is going to be one of those us versus them type videos. And I never got a chance to do a commentary about what you see in this picture, but I'm going to go ahead and explain it. So in this picture, you see two Chicago cops. Well, one of them you can clearly see from behind, and the other one is holding down the suspect. As you can clearly see, the suspect is a palm-colored male. Now, he was basically someone that they caught inside of a subway station. I'm not exactly sure what he was being apprehended for, but he managed to slip through their clutches and ran up the stairs, into which the cops basically gave him a verbal command to stop. They pulled out their gun and they shot this man. I don't know if he died or not, but they did shoot him. But anyway, so they were doing their job. You know how they would usually do with us, but with us, they go overboard, and we know this. Well, interesting turn of events. These two cops have now been stripped of their police powers. Interesting choice of words. Now, that was what the words, that's what's in the article. That's what's in the title. It says they were stripped of their police powers after this shooting. Now, mind you, they were doing their job. They were apprehending a suspect that was trying to flee the scene. But they were stripped of their police powers, meaning they were fired. And not only that, but they probably won't be able to work at another police precinct, at least in Chicago, ever again. And if they put their names out there, they probably will get blackballed and may not be able to get any type of police work anywhere ever again. The reason why I say this is an us versus them is look at the suspect and then look at the cops. Two black cops versus one palm-colored man. Of course they were going to fire them. They're not getting transferred. I can always do this, and I have to do it in this example because some people like to forget. Look at those two cops down in Louisiana who was going after that dad who was driving recklessly with his son in the front seat. And when he tried to use his car as a vehicle, when he pulled him over, the guy shot through the window to stop him and accidentally shot on the passenger side where the 6-year-old son was sitting at and shot him and killed him. And who ends up in jail? Not the reckless driver, not the one who had their child endangered in the front seat at night. The two cops, black male cops. And ironically, that happened the same year that Blue Lives Matter bill kicked in down in Louisiana. Merely probably a couple weeks. The same bill that 44 signed into a law. Look at Muhammad Noor. Now, he's not a black American, but he's black enough. With the whole Susan, what's her face? Thing. Not Susan. What was her name? Justine. I was thinking of the CEO of YouTube. Justine. Is it clicking now? They're letting to the black cops out there. You can do your job well within the realms of what is supposed to be done. But if you do your job too well, they'll say you're going overboard. And if you do your job, it better not be against a palm-colored person, no matter who it is. They basically have you in the confines where you are supposed to do your job. And if you want to go overboard, you go do it to the people that look like you, look like and identify as you. So now these two cops, they said, have been stripped of their powers. Let me go ahead and read this article. Two Chicago cops involved in the shooting of an unarmed man last week have been stripped of their police powers. Now, it's amazing how, if this was written any other way, where it was two white cops and a black person and they were unarmed, the black person probably would have been killed on sight, whether even if it was on video. But those two palm-colored cops would have never been stripped of their powers, as they said in this article. I've never even heard them use this as a terminology before. Stripped of their powers. That is a very interesting statement. That is almost a powerful statement in and of itself. Stripped of their powers. It's almost like they want those two cops, well, now former cops, to feel the sting of what they just did. Not what they did, not what the two cops did, but feel the sting of what the person who stripped them of their powers did to them. Like I said, if this was 2 palm colored cops and 1 black person, it would not have gone down like that. They would have gotten administrative duty, and you know it, desk duty, whatever. They would have been still part of the union. A video that showed the 2 officers wrestling with the man near a staircase of the Grand Red Line stopped circulated on the web shortly after the incident Friday evening. Chicago police said Wednesday that Charlie Beck, the interim police superintendent, made the decision to strip the cops of their police powers after receiving a recommendation from the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. Now, I'm going to be completely 100% honest here. I have never heard of this organization, the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. So somebody from the higher ups, higher than the superintendent, sent this man a notification or called him up and was like, look, we see these 2 cops right here. They're doing their job. Who knows what else was discussed, but we need them to be removed immediately. So now they want to remove cops from their jobs, even if they are doing their job. But we know why they did it. It's 2 black cops dealing with 1 palm-colored male. Like I said, if you switch this stuff out, you would have never heard from this organization that I've never heard of before. As a result of the superintendent's review of the incident, both of the involved officers have been relieved of their police powers pending the outcome of the external reviews into this matter. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot called the viral video extremely disturbing. In the clip, 1 cop shouts, "Stop resisting," and shoot him as the 2 scuffle with the unarmed man. Now, it's funny. You don't really hear a lot of palm-colored people talking about, I haven't heard them really talk about this. Because, they love to say that we need to stop resisting and follow orders. But when it comes to them, they can do what they want. I keep telling you, these little rules, these little fake ass rules that they come up with are only for us, never for them. That's why I say it's an us versus them society. I'm sorry, some of you may not want to hear it, but it's the reality of the world. It's the reality of the goddamn establishment that we live in. Deal with that shit. Deal with it. The man wrangles away and heads up an escalator the officers pursue, and the sound of gunfire appears to ring through the station. Now notice, they didn't kill him. They could have easily killed him, but they didn't. Had it been one of us, killed on sight, and we wouldn't have even been doing an ounce of that. And the thing is, in this video, you can clearly see the guy was resisting. I have yet to see anything from them Blue Lives Matters individuals yet about this. That's why I call them a fake, phony organization that literally bit off the same organization that they claim to dislike, which is Black Lives Matter. I have a lot of issues with them, but I'm gonna call hypocrisy out when hypocrisy is presented. They bit off of Black Lives Matter as far as the name. The same thing with All Lives Matter. They bit off of that, and it's like I said, there's no way they could call themselves the original people. It's no way. They couldn't even come up with an original name for this so-called organization. They only talk about Blue Lives Matter when it involves palm-colored cops, but it's nowhere present when it's black cops involved. None. But then again, when you think about how corrupt a lot of these police precincts are and these departments, especially the NYPD, the LAPD, the Chicago PD, and the Baltimore PD, which are my top 4 most corrupt departments, because those 4 right there always seem to have some kind of a story to come out about it. Silence. They say absolutely, positively nothing ever when it involves a black cop. And when they do, excuse me, they'll say they deserved it. I saw them comments about Muhammad Noor. They said they were literally on Justine's side the entire time. Like, I didn't see not one time someone came from the Blue Lives Matter camp and defend that man. And now all of a sudden, the cop is in the wrong. They couldn't use Blue Lives Matter. They are so transparent. It's not even funny. Now these 2 are out of a job. They're out of the union. Because someone from this organization I've never heard of called down to the superintendent, who was supposed to be the top cop. Well, I take that back. The mayor is, but you get what I mean. And said, look, That video went viral. We need to get rid of them. But you had plenty of tape evidence with the Laquan McDonald thing and did all kinds of cover-ups with that. And Jason Van Dyke remained on the force. And he killed Laquan McDonald and shot him multiple times. They shot this man to injure, and he's still breathing. They were actually within the confines of doing their job. This guy did all the things that made them have to stop him. And when they do, you fire them and they can't work there again. But when it's the other way around and the shoe is on the other foot, they can kill the innocent person, get away with it, keep their badge and their gun and a job. They may have to scale back on some of their pay until everything blows over, but they're still there. Look at Daniel Pantaleo. He was on the force in the NYPD for 5 whole damn years after he killed Eric Garner. And they didn't just fire him until last year. He literally was hiding out in the government, not in the government, in the police department, getting paid and still got his pension. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. Have your notifications turned on, and I will talk to you in the next one.